Welcome to 15 Minutes with InReach Inc., a virtual show created to stimulate informed voting decisions and encourage civic engagement among community members. I am Tony Smith, host and executive director of InReach Inc., where we prepare people to level up and unite for a cause. We are committed to providing a platform for all candidates running for the Prince George's County Executive position to share their vision and plan with the community. We have extended invitations to all qualified candidates, regardless of political affiliation. InReach Inc. does not endorse or oppose any candidate or political party. I'm excited to be here with County Executive candidate Tonya Sweat. Good morning. Good morning.
Good
Oh,
morning, Executive Director Smith. Thank you so much for having me. Couple things, because I don't mind laughing at myself. One, I want the audience to know I am not turning into the Incredible Hulk. I think my camera is tired from doing all these interviews in virtual forums, and so I'll have to have that rascal replaced. But it's the camera's fault that I may turn green intermittently during the video. The other thing I tell people is yes, my name is Sweat. It is perspiration. It is okay. I am very sweet though, but I thank my husband for giving me his last name and I try to do it honor. So yes, it is Sweat.
perfect. Well, that's great. And this is good. We can just jump right in. Tell us more about yourself and why you are running for the county executive position.
Yes, I am again Tonya Sweat. I've been practicing law now for approximately 30 years, almost 30 years. I feel like I'm getting old. I'm licensed in South Carolina, the District of Columbia, and in the state of Maryland. When I started my legal career, I was a judge advocate in the United States Air Force. I left the Air Force after 7 years and became an attorney in the federal government. My last assignment as a civil servant for our federal government was as the consumer compliance director at a small financial regulator. I was a banking and finance regulator, believe it or not. And my primary purpose was consumer protection law. And so, in dealing with banking and finance, it was always about protecting the consumers, protecting the American populace. One of the most important things I did in that position was worked on the team that drafted the policy that was the foundation for the Dodd-Frank Wall Street Reform and Consumer Protection Act of 2010. And during that time, we did a lot of review. I tell people Prince George's County became our case study for what was happening when the mortgage bubble burst because we were looking at the effect on the valuation of homes. We looked at how subprime lenders took advantage of borrowers. We were looking at all of that, and believe it or not, it was happening right here in our home. And so I'm very well versed on the economy in Prince George's County, how we ended up in the position we're in right now. And that's one of the reasons why I've chosen to run for county executive. I'm also a proud PTA mom, a proud PGCPS mom. Our son graduated from Austin Hill High School in 2016, and I still have a daughter at Accokeek Academy. She's seventh grader this year. And so I'm very concerned about what's happening with education. And we need to address that. And at the current moment, our county executive is the leader when it comes to our education because the county executive still has the authority to select the school superintendent. And so I'm not happy about how many county executives, since the change has been made, matter of fact, all of them, select a superintendent and then take a laissez faire attitude about our education. You can't leave it alone if you're going to be the leader. So I'm concerned about education. Like many of our citizens, I'm also concerned about our public safety and the rise in crime. We're now trending upward when it comes to domestic violence, when it comes to murder, when it comes to carjacking. And that's not good. We need to address that. I understand that part of the reasons why crime is trending up, one is because we have families who are suffering. They're not getting the support and the services from their local government. And desperate people do desperate things. We're not criminals at heart, but when you're in need, unfortunately, sometimes we turn to crime to get what we need. And so we need to address that. We also have an issue with mental health. And I remind the community, mental health and mental illness are two different things. We are all suffering with mental health concerns because when you're worried about how you're going to pay your bills, when you're dealing with road rage on the Beltway driving back and forth to work, and unfortunately now under the current administration, we have neighbors who are concerned about whether they're going to have a job tomorrow. All of that affects your mental health. And we have to live with that and we deal with that. And our family members live with that. Hell, uh, I'm a woman in menopause, okay? And my family and I had a conversation because my mood swings was affecting the mental health of the people in my house. So I had to take the necessary steps to address that. And we need to make sure those supports and services are available in the county because we all have mental health issues that we have to deal with on a daily basis. And so that's a concern that unfortunately is contributing to our crime rate, especially when you talk about domestic violence. We have to support our couples. We have to give them what they need so that they can interrelate, conjugate, and live together without killing each other.
Right.
That's not what we want. We also, my biggest concern right now is the county's budget deficit. It's projected that we're going to have about $180 million deficit in this fiscal year's budget. That's not a good thing because we are required to have a balanced budget every single year. Why is the deficit growing? It's growing because the county has relied too heavily for too long on real estate taxes. We have to diversify the county's revenue. How do we do that? One, we need to bring in more commercial revenue. We need to bring in more business tax. We need to spark our tourism in the county. Prince George's County is a good place to live. It's also a good place to visit. We need to invite more people to come visit us and spend money with us. And we also need to put a lot of people in the county to work in gainful careers that will increase our income tax revenue. So one of these things I want to work on. And yes, people say this is only an 18-month term. I get it. It's only 18 months. But believe it or not, this is low-hanging fruit that we can attack on day one. On day one.
So then I'll jump into the questions, which you've already alluded to some of them. So this would be great, if not all of them. My first question is around youth programs. What specific programs do you plan to introduce or expand to engage youth in positive activities and to reduce their idleness?
Absolutely. Love that question. I divide our youth into a couple of categories. We have pre-K through 12, and then we have what the state calls disconnected youth. And those are our young people from 16 to 25 who are not in school or not employed. So let's start with our school age children. When they're not in school, what are they doing? Well, PGCPS took away before and after care in our schools now. So we don't have that contracted service in a lot of our schools. And we do have a lot of working parents in the county who need that support. I would like to work with, and I will work with the Parks and Recs Division to bring before and after care into our community centers. That's a great place for our children to start their day and to end their day. That also will create additional jobs because we're going to need people there to monitor the children during the day. And so before school, we can help with doing things like providing a small breakfast because many of our children don't get the school buses. We talk about the lack of school bus drivers. Guess what? You put all the kids in the community center, the school bus driver got one stop to pick up the children, transport them to school. When they get out of school, you take them back to the community center in their neighborhoods. They can do homework. We can enlist our high school students to do tutorials for them to get their service hours, to help the younger ones with their homework. We can provide a small snack in the afternoon until parents can pick them up. Parents then come pick up their children from the community center and take them home. So they're not sitting at home unsupervised because we all know the idle mind is the devil's workshop. So they can't get into trouble. Not only that, in our Parks and Recs division, I'm going to work closely with them to raise the money and improve their revenue so that we can offer more extracurricular activities for our students. Little league sports are expensive. And trust me, I know this from experience. Our son played football. It's costly, okay? I thank God he got a football scholarship, graduated from college in December, and now he's chasing his dream as an assistant football coach at the University of Findlay in Ohio. But it was expensive. I will not tell you how much money we invested in his football career. Okay. I want to help parents who can't afford to do what my husband and I have done for our children. So I'll help Parks and Recs raise the money so that parents won't have to pay the expensive costs for little league activities, whether it's sports, some say the arts. We do have a vibrant arts program in PGCPS, but yes, we can do that in our Parks and Recs division as well. We will encourage arts. So students who want to do that, let's do it. Let's make it available in the community for our children. We have to invest in them, their passions, and their dreams, because that turns into later success. Now, for our disconnected youth, we got to have a workforce development program, an aggressive one and a strong one that's going to rehabilitate and remediate their academic skills. Because many of our children, yes, some of them have graduated from high school and they cannot read on an eighth grade level and they cannot perform math at an algebra one level, even though they have a diploma. Some of them have dropped out of school completely, so they don't have a diploma. But this is the problem. To get a job in the trades, you got to pass an apprenticeship entrance exam. Our youth can't do that. We have to prepare them for that exam. I've already been working with the Maryland State Department of Labor and nonprofits in the county to bring to this county a pre-apprenticeship program that will help prepare our young people for that entrance exam. Because then they can get jobs as plumbers, electricians, HVAC technicians, construction workers, masonry. All those careers are short on people and they pay good money. And we have people who need those careers so that they can be successful in their lives. So I want to bring a strong workforce development program, something like a Job Corps program or a pre-apprenticeship program for our young people who are not working and who are not in school.
Okay, I'll move to the second question.
Yes, ma'am.
It's preventative care. So,
Mhm.
what initiatives will you implement to promote preventative care and healthy lifestyles among county residents?
First and foremost, you need to make sure we have the primary care and specialty care practitioners in the county. Too many of our residents are driving 50 plus miles to get care, and that's unacceptable. We have the University of Maryland Hospital out in Largo. There I go turning green. Out in Largo, and I want to work with the University of Maryland Hospital System to make sure we get more of those doctors here because we need them locally. I'm displeased about the sale of the old Prince George's County Hospital site for development. I think a better use for that property would have been to sell it to somebody like, say, a John Hopkins University, because they had big bucks and they could have bought that hospital site, renovated it. It wouldn't have cost the county a dime. They would have brought specialty and primary care to the county because that's what they do. They would have paid the doctors to come here and provide us those services. So first and foremost, we need to make sure the care is available. I also want to work with the Adventist Care healthcare system because I understand they want to build a hospital out on Indian Head Highway. I don't know what the holdup is there. Let's get past the obstacles and the blocks to bringing that care to the community. We complain about being short 600 hospital beds, and we need them. So let's bring them to the community. And I'm willing to be the lead advocate to fight with the state or whomever I need to fight with to get it done for our people. Because guess what? If we bring the primary and the specialty care to the community, then they're going to help us get the word out on what you need to do to take care of yourself. They're going to advertise it. They're going to do the public service announcement because they're the experts and they want to get us into the offices so that we make sure we're not dying from cancer and don't know it. We can also bring in pristine expert obstetricians to help our mothers. I hear the talk about maternal care. Guess what? I birthed two children, and with both of my children, I suffered from preeclampsia. I thank God my husband's retired military. So all of my care was provided by the military system, and I'm still here. My children were born and they're healthy. Every woman should have the opportunities that I've had, whether you served in the military or not. So let's bring those expert obstetricians and gynecologists to the table so our mothers don't have to go to Baltimore and Washington, D.C. to make sure they can have healthy births.
Okay, great. And the next question is about nonprofits, of course. So support for nonprofits in the county. What measures will you take to support and strengthen the nonprofit sector in Prince George's County?
We have a lot of nonprofits in Prince George's County. And what I say to my nonprofit sisters and brothers, you're a business, just like a business that's selling stuff, just like I'm a small business, I'm a lawyer, I provide a service. I understand nonprofits are business. The only difference between you and me is working for profit. I want to earn a positive net worth at the end of the day. That's not your focus. Nonprofits focus on servicing the people. And I am so happy and grateful for that because nonprofits have stepped in where our local government has failed us. And I want to continue to support those nonprofits who bring the services that also result in a positive impact on our community. How do we do that? We can, as a government, get grants that sometimes nonprofits don't have access to. And then we share the wealth. Because guess what? Local government is not big enough to carry the load and do all the work. So I, in my administration, will treat nonprofit organizations similar to what you see with subcontractors in the private sector. If the county can get the multi-year grants to provide the services, then I'll send out a request for proposals from nonprofits in the community and say, if you can help me accomplish these goals, I've got the money to support you in that effort. And so, yes, we'll definitely be working with nonprofits to make sure they stay alive, they stay vibrant, they stay strong, and they continue to support us because they bring a phenomenal service that we really can't pay for.
Okay, so that concludes the three questions. I do have an audience question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, Okay, so this question is from Stacy, Council District 5. So as the county faces continued growth, how do you plan to balance development with preserving affordable housing and preventing displacement of long-term residents?
Wonderful question. Very important question. We have a lot of raw land that's being developed into housing right now. I have some concerns with that, how we're going about doing that, because it's costing the county a lot of money that many residents don't even know exists or aware of. But we also have an older inventory of homes that, quite honestly, they have better bones than the new houses that we're constructing. Another opportunity that the county can bring to the table is applying with the Department of Housing and Urban Development to get community development block grants. And with those grants, we can then support the renovation and revitalization, of our older communities. We can help our seniors do things like put new roofs on their homes. We can help some of our renters, even our landlords, redevelop and renovate their older homes so that they meet the ordinances and the construction codes to rent them out. Because I recognize we got landlords who are renting homes that are not habitable. So we can help those landlords improve the conditions of older homes so that we can rent them out on an income-based provision. Because we talk about affordability. What I can afford to live in is totally different than what somebody else can afford to live in. I want to see more income-based housing in the county. And I believe if we revitalize some of these older homes, then we can do more income-based housing. And a lot of our older homes are one floor. That would work better for our seniors. that would work a whole lot better for our disabled. Because right now, what we're building are multi-level single-family homes. We're building a lot of townhomes. We're even building apartments, but they don't always work for our seniors and our disabled. So we got to focus on revitalizing the older homes that we have and keeping them in the inventory.
Yeah, that's true. There are a lot of homes being built up now.
Right.
I
Yes.
could use a single level.
Look, I'm like you. My knees are giving out. I want a single level ranch style home, but to do that, I'd have to leave the county to buy the acreage to build it. Well, okay, I'm gonna stick with the three level I got for as long as I can. But because I recognize that need in me, I know that there are others who need it too. So let's focus on them first.
Absolutely. Okay, well, I think this is 15 minutes. I am going to move to, let's see, closing. Well, thank you for joining us on this episode of 15 Minutes with InReach Inc. We hope you found our conversation with candidate Tonya Sweat insightful and informative. Remember, your voice matters, and staying informed is the first step to making a difference in our community. Don't forget to follow us on social media and visit our website at InReach Inc. for more information and updates on upcoming episodes. Until next time, stay engaged, stay informed, and let's work together to build a better Prince George's County. Thank you and take care.